For those of you that don't know Big Brother, it's a show where you lock morons in a house and then they vote each other out of the house one by one, and then you give cash money to the one that's left. They also do a celebrity version. Recently, one of those celebrities was a guy called David Guest. One day in the moron house, David Guest was feeling a bit sick. So he said to everyone, I'm going to go sit in the bedroom for a bit, lay down, till I feel better. At which point, another of the celebrities, David Bowie's ex-wife. This happened to be the week that David Bowie died. They were locked in the house, they didn't get to hear about it, but they pulled David Bowie's ex-wife into a little room and said, hey, David Bowie's died, are you alright? Do you want to carry on? Do you want to leave? It's up to you. She was obviously quite upset, but she said, no, it's fine, I'll stay in the house. She walks back into the house. This woman called Tiffany goes over to her. Tiffany isn't the sharpest of the knives in the drawer. Tiffany says, I can see something's wrong. What's wrong? She says, I'll tell you, but you have to promise not to say anything to anyone else. I don't want it to be a big deal. Tiffany says, of course, I promise. What is it? And David Bowie's ex-wife says, David's dead. Tiffany immediately goes, what? And thinks, obviously, that they're talking about David Guest, who is just lying alive in the other room. She then gets really distraught and goes to the rest of the house and says, she told me not to tell you, but David's died and she wants to keep it a secret. Why? What? This is horrible. And then David Guest walks out of the bedroom and he's fine. And Tiffany says, she told me you were dead. And then goes to like proper have a ruck with David Bowie's ex-wife because she thinks that she's just made it up. Meanwhile, David Bowie's ex-wife has gone back into the little camera crew room and is just crying because this is not what she needs in her time of grief. It was a whole mad situation. Tiffany left the Big Brother house and started selling t-shirts that said David is dead on them. And David Guest himself decided to go on a tour, and the title of the tour was David Guest is not dead. And then 2 weeks ago, David Guest died. Actually David Guest. Sometimes the world, you can't believe in God, can you? Because it's all too unpredictable. What creator would have put those events in motion? Tiffany, as a sign of respect, said that she would stop selling her line of David is dead t-shirts. Once again missing the point that it was about David Bowie and not David Guest. Oh dear. If there is a heaven, I like to think that David Guest is going to walk up to David Bowie and go, mate, have I got a story to tell you? But it probably won't happen because there isn't a heaven because God isn't real. Anyway.